Welcome to the SOE Customer Service Webcast. My name's Amy Ashley Murkowski, the Customer Service Project Manager here at SOE. I would like to introduce my guest for today. From the world of EverQuest, we have an EQGM. Can you introduce yourself?
GM Cathalia. Nice to meet you.
And this face may be familiar to you. She comes to us from Free Realms.
Referee Ruby. So.
And we also have someone else from Free Realms, internationally this time.
Victor Bonini, do Portuguese, referee Roxo.
Ooh. Yeah. And I left out a slide. Woohoo! Tech support.
Yeah, my name's Arnie. I do character moves from CS Tech and account consolidations.
Ooh. All right, now that we're done with introductions, let's get down to questions. This one's for all of you. How'd you guys get your start at SOE? Tech support. Arnie, can you start?
I have a friend that works here in tech, and actually said there was an opening, so I applied about 3 years ago, and here I am, doing moves and enjoying Sony Online Entertainment.
And how about EQGM?
Almost the same way. I had a friend that was an EQ2 GM and told me about job openings, and I applied, and it was about 2.5 years ago. So.
Ruby?
I went to school for game design, and a couple of the employees here showed up there one time. They partnered with us for a project, and I really liked their vibe, and so after I got out of school, I was checking Craigslist actually and saw a job posting. I was like, all right, let's try that out, and here I am.
Alrighty. And
About a little over a year ago, I also knew someone was working here, and I started off in tech answering phones and emails, and about 4 or 5 months ago when Portuguese actually launched as a language, I moved over to that team.
awesome. All right, so can you tell us, like, you kind of did this a little bit, but what do you actually do on a day-to-day basis? What's your actual job? You do moves, Arnie. Can you explain a little bit what that is?
I do character transfers for Star Wars Galaxies, EverQuest, and EverQuest 2. If someone wants to move accounts or needs help moving servers with their characters, I take the character and I transfer them over. Basically, I also do account consolidations when people want to consolidate. If they have multiple accounts, spanning different games, Swig on one, EverQuest on another, I consolidate them all into one account. So they can play on the station past $29.99 a month, which we have. They can play all the games for that one price.
Okay.
Yep.
And what about the customer service reps? What's that like?
It depends on what day. Like sometimes we'll have just nothing, and we're doing name changes and stuff, and on a patch day it gets a little bit more crazy. We'll come in and everybody's broken for some reason, and we have to figure out why. Then we have to contact QA and be like, here's these people that are broken, why are they broken? And then contact the dev team and let them know they're broken. And then once we have a fix, we go in and fix all of them. And then some days we just go in game and hang out with people and answer questions. So we do pretty much everything.
What about for international customers? What's that like?
It's really good. We get less ticket volume than the English, but we cover everything. So if there's a weird internet connection problem, it's usually the whole country that has the problem, and so we fix all the tech problems, any billing questions, and then again we also go in game and talk with the English and Brazilian players and Portuguese players that have questions.
Right. And EQ, is it like the same as Free Realms, or is there some different challenges?
Well, basically sort of the same thing. Patch days and expansion launches are going to be the most hectic times, when things are brand new released and there's, just problems to take care of en masse.
Yeah.
But otherwise it's just answering people's in-game petitions, restoring items and whatnot.
And staying with you, how long have you been here at SOE?
Oh, it was about 2.5 years.
2.5 years? Yeah. And you, Victor?
A little over a year.
A little
Celebrated my year anniversary a couple of months ago.
Well, congratulations. Arnie?
Almost 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
And Ruby?
I'm on my second year now.
Second year. So this is also for all of you. Can you guys share some of the challenges that you face in your position? Let's start with you, Arnie, on that one.
Yeah, basically sometimes we get backed up on queues. There's only a few of us that do character moves, so you know, sometimes we'll have a busy day. Certain games require certain requirements before you can transfer the character. Some are harder than others. So yeah, sometimes it gets a little tricky. You know, we need help from in-game a lot. You know, on certain moves to remove items and certain stuff like that. So I guess, you know, basically, you know, that would be the biggest hurdle is trying to, you know, transfer someone across accounts and games.
Right. How about you, Ruby? How about in free roams? What are those challenges?
Free roam specifically, you know, we have a lot of younger players,
Yeah.
so we get tickets from people who somehow have a knowledge of technology enough to put in a ticket, but don't really have a grasp on the English language yet.
Mhm.
I think the youngest I got was from a 5-year-old once.
Oh, goodness.
So they'll put in tickets and we have no idea what they're asking us about. So we'll all kind of gather around and try to translate what the ticket is saying and then figure out how to translate how we need to help them into something a 5-year-old can understand.
Someone get a mom!
Yeah, and so that's a
Yeah.
big thing. And then we'll also get tickets that don't have any of the information we need.
Right. And EQ, what are the challenges you guys face over there?
A lot of them are not having enough information, whether it's from the player initially to understand what the problem is in the first place, or if it's something that, you know, maybe our logs just aren't that complex because it's the older game.
Right.
So, you know, we want to help people, but sometimes we just can't prove that something happened. You know, it becomes difficult. But
And internationally?
I see more billing problems than anything. And for me, I'm not a native Portuguese speaker, and so I learned a lot of the slang when I learned it, and so I've had to develop correct language. And then it's, you know, figuring out what the error code and telling the customer what, you know, error code they need to bring their bank or credit card provider.
Right.
And luckily I have a coworker that is a native Portuguese speaker that corrects my work a lot. But it's a lot of those different billing questions I handle most of the time.
Okay. Speaking of technologies, what are the tools that you guys use on a daily basis? For you, for character transfers, what kind of tools do you guys use?
We have, you know, something called a workbench, which I used to transfer certain characters in EverQuest, EverQuest 2. We have another tool that I use to delete items off the characters called the remote tool for EverQuest 2. So I have 2 monitors set up, you know, one is more workbench, one is my remote tool, and I go back and forth a lot. And I've gotten it pretty down so I can, you know, listen to music or something while
Right.
I'm doing it and do my transfers and everything. But yeah, I got it down pretty good now, so I'm pretty quick at it. So there won't be so much delay on your character moves when you put them in. Music helps me.
In EverQuest, you mentioned that with an older game, the tools are a little older. Can you talk about that a little?
yeah, they're different. They're just some things that aren't logged, whether, you know, they've decided not to log certain things or what. They're things that we just can't prove without seeing them, which can be frustrating because we're there to help people. So
Right.
when, you know, we have to make a judgment call as to whether or not to do something, it, you know, can be frustrating. But kind of the same as having 2 monitors, you know, and basically tab through all of my tools on one side and the game on the other, and a little chat to keep in communication with your fellow GMs, you know, so you can ask questions like, hey, have anybody seen like this issue, and then you know, keep on the same wavelength with everyone.
For free roams, what kind of tools do you guys use to help the customers?
Logs are definitely our best friend. We have a lot of so-and-so was mean to me, and we have full chat logs of everything, so we can go back and look and go, you know, okay, yes, this person did this, or no, this person did this, they're just making things up.
Yeah.
So we use that for, you know, just to verify everything, and then we have our ticketing system, which tracks all of our tickets, and then we'll have, another tool we use a lot is our item database thing where somebody says, I had this, only they don't know what the name of it is, so we have to go in and find out what they're actually talking about.
Right. And you said billing tools?
We go through a lot of through Global Collect.
Okay.
With Brazilian and Portuguese credit cards, well, foreign credit cards that don't pay in U.S. dollars, and so we have the console set up where I can look at other people's accounts and their orders. Then there's also a red tool that shows me the specific error codes as why credit cards don't work. And then, you know, the Free Roams website, I'm able to approve and deny names and guild names, just like the English referees. That's what I use most of the time
Okay.
for Free Roams.
Ruby, you sort of have a popularity with the player base. I mean, you've done the YouTube videos, and has that affected your job? I mean, like, do you, like, when you go in game, is it, like, crazy for you, or?
Yeah, we have our hide ability, which is infinitely useful because anytime anybody sees it, and it's with all of the referees really, we have kind of people have fans of their their favorites. So we go in game and somebody sees us and goes, "Oh my God, a referee!" And then they tell their friends, and we have 20 people porting to us before we can even say anything.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it helps us at some points because people want to talk to us and want to help out with things as well, so they get involved with the community. And at other points it can be a pain because we just need to go in game and fix something, and everybody wants to talk to us and be friends with us. This is cool, but we still have to do our job.
Yeah.
I needed help one time and I went over to talk to her, and then she said, "Submit a ticket." So she's busy.
We got stuff to do.
She's got some fans. So I gotta wait in line to get help.
No special treatment, sorry.
Yeah, thanks.
So, I want to maybe create a little rivalry here between the GMs. On a good day, how many tickets do you guys answer?
As a department whole,
No,
Or just-
individually.
um,
I want to see. Maybe
I don't really do
Go ahead.
any
None?
ticket.
Yeah.
I do more like if there's a big issue, so somebody gets a ticket
Right.
and somebody's broken and they have no idea why he's broken,
Mhm.
I'll go in and do a little bit more in depth with
Okay.
it and more advanced stuff.
Kind of escalation.
Yeah, and if it's something that needs to be sent to QA, then I send to them. If it needs to be sent to development, then I'll do that. And I also do for our team a lot of the whatever's coming new. I'll make sure everybody knows about it.
Okay.
And we've got everything worked out in advance so that when it does go live or something, we don't suddenly go, "Oh, we don't know how to do this." Whoops.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Depending on what kind of day it is or what's going on, our average is supposed to be about 30 petitions a day. But it might be fewer if you just happen to get more complicated issues, like maybe someone's house explodes, and you have to restore 300 items,
Right.
or figure out what happened to them. I mean, that's obviously going to take longer than just handing someone their shield of specialness.
Yeah.
So it'll vary up and down.
And it could be more if it's a lot of.
A lot of really easy, just bam, 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 all the same issue, and you kind of get in a roll doing the same thing over and over again.
Any for you, Victor?
Portuguese as a whole only gets 40, 50, 60 tickets a week.
Right.
So I
Slacker.
have
So, yeah. Slacker. Yeah, I
maybe 10,
agree.
10 to 20 a day, but I do all the Portuguese names and guilds and for Clone Wars Adventures and Free Roams, and that kind of sounds like an excuse, but it's a lot. I promise. It's
So this question's kind of a joke, and it's for Arnie. Has there ever been like an issue that do you do any tech support back before you did character moves?
Yeah, did a little, yeah.
Was there ever an issue that was resolved by ma'am or sir? Is your PC plugged in?
Oh, I don't know if I had something that bad. I mean, I've had people stealing internet from their neighbors and wondering why they can't, their port's blocked or
Oh my
something.
goodness!
And they're like, "I don't understand why I can't get in the game." I'm like, "Open your router." They're like, "I can't." Their connection, and they're stealing their internet. So
Oh
I
dear!
said, solution is buy internet. It's easy. But yeah, I mean, simple stuff like that. I haven't had anyone where their computer wasn't plugged in or
that's
something like that. I don't, not that I can remember. No. Our customers are pretty smart.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, they're pretty smart.
This is for Victor.
This isn't World of Warcraft, this is EverQuest.
Oh,
All right.
burn!
Them's fighting words.
This is for Victor and Ruby. Do you find the most unruly players to be kids or their parents?
I think the parents are a lot more vocal when they're angry.
1 second. Please hold for the airplane.
Not as loud.
We are near Miramar Air Station.
Top Gun.
I got time.
We want the players to be able to hear us.
Do we?
Okay, so go ahead.
Yeah, the parents get very upset about things, and actually a lot of the kids are a little bit more understanding when things go wrong. But we do have some unruly people occasionally. Only occasionally.
Occasionally. Yeah.
I get more tickets from parents as well. Just very what's the word I'm looking for? They're very forceful in that they're right, and we have to.
I think
kind
we
of
label that as passionate.
Passionate. There we go. Passionate. I've seen it both though, from kids and parents, but parents you can use kind of a little bit more the language that's
Strong language.
well, strong language, explaining the issue step by step, and sometimes the resolution of the problem. Where kids, as they don't understand, you just no, fix it. Just fix it. But we try to work around that and help them out as best as we can. Always.
Some kids seem to think we have magical powers.
Yeah. We don't? Oh, man.
Limited special powers.
Yeah.
In EverQuest with the progression server, customer service wise, has there been any I've done that, I can't talk today. Has there been any unique issues that don't affect the other servers that you've come across?
Yeah, basically on the progression server, you've got a lot more people smashed in a lot smaller place.
Right.
So there's a lot of contention over, named NPCs and zones, who's gonna get them, who was there first. A lot of people just having problems leveling with other people, having to make accommodations that they haven't had to make on the live servers because they have more
In a really
space
long time.
to do that. Yeah. Yeah, and then there's just the question of was this item or this quest or whatnot, was this in the original game? And then we have to try to figure that out because it's it's 12 years old,
Yeah.
so it was a while ago.
Yeah.
But
Complicated.
yes, it can be complicated.
All right, this one's for all of you. What's the best information customers can provide to get the most efficient support? Maybe for you, Ruby.
Dates. Definitely dates, because we'll get tickets that I lost my item sometime. I've been playing for about a year now. I just noticed, I got it in summer of last year. I'm like, that's fabulous. I'm just going to spend the next 3 hours doing log searches now. So yeah, definitely dates. For free roam specifically, everything comes in 40 different colors. So that's it's always useful to have a color.
Right. Right. What about in EverQuest? What kind of details do they need?
Yeah, exact names for everything is really helpful. It's hard when you're like, that blue circle thing from the zone with the guy with the stuff. Oh, I put that in my database search thing. So yeah, as much information as you have about what you're missing or what quest you're doing, it helps us help you.
What about for a move?
Usually character name and server. A lot of people leave the server out or the character name. They just say, move my character, and I'm like, which one? So I move them all. And, so that, usually that. But usually they're pretty good. People know. Usually people who do character transfer, either someone in their guild or their friend already has done it. So they explain to them how to do it, and it's real quick. It's a quick process. We try to turn around in at least, 24 to 48 hours of transfer.
Is there anything internationally that you see that?
Doing free roams and English tech, we get a lot of tickets. I can't play. Just that. So I love full descriptions of the issue, kind of what computer you're playing on, what you were doing when the problem happened. Because usually 3 responses later, and 2 days later we get that information. But if it's always in the first one, that's amazingly helpful.
Yeah.
And always kids, parent help with tickets always helps. And ask your parents for help.
Well, what's the strangest issue you've been able to solve for a customer? Victor, what about you?
Strangest issue. Oy vey. I've had too many strange issues to think of one. Well, recently we've had problems with SMS in Brazil where they would pay and they wouldn't get the station cash, and so we've had to contact outside people to get the station cash put on their account or the money reimbursed. So that's a really big problem that's happened recently. We're getting fixed.
Yay! Ruby?
I think one of the recent ones, like Victor said, we get a lot of weird ones on free roams, but recently we had one where we'd do name changes on players and their friends list would disappear. And we found out that it was attaching to the name, so if you gave that name to another character, they'd get that friends list. So yeah, tracking down what was behind that one was a pretty interesting experience.
That's really cool. What about EQ? Strangest issue you've ever had?
There are definitely plenty of strange issues, but offhand, I had a guy where I was sitting there and he was in game, and he replied back a few times, and basically, the first time he says, you know, I'm missing this item, and you know, one of the GMs says, oh, it's in this bag, because we could see it with our tools, and there's his item, says it's right in his, you know, leather foot haversack thing, you know, and he replies back, no, it's not. So, you know, it goes back and forth a couple times, and then finally he's online, so I go in game to talk to him, and I move it in his bags. I'm like, look in this bag, in this slot, and he looks and he says there's nothing there, and then he moved his cursor over it, and he could see the tooltip saying that the item was in his bags, and I had him equip it, and when he equipped it, you could see his little weapon in his hand on his character. Basically, he had a custom UI that was keeping his bags from properly displaying items. So the icon for the item wasn't there, but when he cursed over that, that's why he got the tooltip, because it was there, he just couldn't see it.
How odd.
He could equip it, but he couldn't see it on his character pane, but he could see it in his hands. He was using it. It just, yeah.
That's bizarre.
So it helped to be there and talk to him in person with that one.
Is there any issues you've ever encountered, Arnie?
Maybe lost characters of people fighting over accounts, you know, I've had that sometimes we have to do. I don't know, I have a strange one right before I was coming over, some lady wanted to know where her characters from 7 years ago were transferred, so that might be a little strange, I might have to find that, do some research. I don't know the character names, so that's going to be a rough one.
Yeah.
For 7 years ago, so I'm do some research, probably help from in-game. I'll send you the guys the ticket.
They're like, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right. So common issues that come up, and they probably change from time to time, especially with updates and that. But what are some issues that might, you know, go all across time? Are there any? I mean, probably name changes, but anything besides that?
Deleted my item, or the past year or two, it's been a lot of shared task issues, you know. With basically, if they kill the named NPC in the zone, but they die before it dies and it dies to dots, they don't get credit for the kill. So it can, that one happens an awful lot, it seems.
Yeah. Free roams, are there common issues like that?
I think trade scams are our most common thing because we
Yeah.
get, you know, the little kids are just way too trusting.
Yeah.
He said he was gonna borrow my item and then he was gonna give it right back and then he didn't and he took me off his friends list. And that's the majority.
So sad.
I'm sorry, let me help you.
Oh. So let's get a little personal. What's your favorite SOE game? Arnie, what do you play?
I'm playing DC right now.
Yeah?
Yeah, level 30.
Level 30.
Getting owned though by those villains, man. I chose hero and there's too many villains on our
villains?
server.
Too many bad
Are you?
guys.
I probably got beat up by her. I don't know. I'm trying, you know, but DC's fun for me right now.
Yeah.
So
Huh? What about you?
The only max level character I have is DCO, and
Yeah.
I'm a villain.
yeah, see, where's the heroes,
know.
man?
I
need some help.
I'm not Max. What are you playing right now, Ruby?
I actually played a lot of EQ2.
Mm-hmm.
Got a level 70 necromancer.
Woo! Yeah.
Very nice. And then I play a lot of free roams and Clone Wars, obviously.
I play free roams and Clone Wars too. Actually, it's sad because my work computer doesn't work with a DCO right now. It's got a common issue that that's hurting a lot of people. So you think tech can fix it, but no, it's broken right now.
Fix it.
Me? I move your character, but I'm fixing your computer. You're on your own. Steal your neighbors.
There we go.
Can you guys, do you guys have any favorite memories that you've had with a customer, an interaction that they touched you or stood out? With Victor, do you have one?
Kids are awesome. I mean, often when I go inside the game and you help them, they put all sorts of smileys and happy faces, and they're like, thank you so much, you know, for giving back an item that they lost, or restoring coins, or if they got scams like Ruby says, that happens in Portuguese as well. So yeah, kids are awesome. I love getting tickets from them and going in game.
What about me, Q?
basically anytime you get a chance to help someone and they appreciate your help and they can get back to, doing what they're doing and having fun. So pretty much most customer interactions are positive.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And Ruby?
Yeah, and I think for the most part we have a lot of positiveness, like that some of our other games may not get,
Yeah.
like Swig.
We love you guys.
Swig.
Yeah, they just like, you go in game and they're like, oh, you made my day. I'm so happy to see you. I just want to be just like you when I grow up. Probably not, but I appreciate the comment.
Oh,
And
me?
you, yeah?
What was the question?
Your favorite interaction with the customer?
Every day is a favorite interaction. Just when someone says thank you, actually, it's nice. After I move their character, and maybe they have, some people want to move like 10 characters, so it's nice when they say thank you or something like that. You made my day, and I said, you're welcome, That's nice.
Awesome. So I pulled some customer questions from the forums. And this one's a PvP related one. For EverQuest, since the other games that we have here don't go PvP. So when you go on a PvP server, do they try to kill you?
Yeah, sometimes. It's kind of funny.
I mean, they can't really succeed.
No, it's just like, you're invulnerable, you're invulnerable, you're invulnerable. It spams across your screen and they're just like stabbing you with their little dagger.
It's kind of silly.
Pat. Nice
Yeah.
little player.
When it comes to petitions, do petitions actually get read by a human being? Was one that I got. I thought that was kind of funny.
All of them.
Yes,
Every single one, right?
Mm-hmm.
read by human beings.
Yes.
It might be misleading because we have an auto response thing that tries to get people to reply with more information if they haven't already. So sometimes they see that and like, I want to talk to a real person.
Yeah.
Like, we're coming.
We actually get that when we go in game. Sometimes people are like, are you a robot?
Yeah, transfer this one to the robot. We have a robot queue. A little monkey controls the room.
How are petitions prioritized?
Date that they come in, always the first come, first served. And then, we ask for more information, and then when they come back, we can help them better. So.
How about harassment? Do you guys have a cut and dry policy on player harassment?
For free realms, that's a bit more serious than your other games because
Right.
kids tend to take things more seriously, and their parents take it more seriously too, obviously.
Right.
So we do a bit more disciplinary action than most games, and we are also, the game is a lower rating, so, or a higher rating, lower age.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that we have to be a bit more careful about that sort of thing, and we take anything like threats very seriously, and anybody asking for personal information. So we have our filter that gets rid of most of that. But even if we see someone attempting to, then we have to take action against that.
What about in EverQuest harassment?
It's taken seriously, but we don't have the ongoing nonstop chat logs just because of the massive volume,
Right.
and it's not as super protected because while kids can play it, I believe you're supposed to have a parent watching you if you're underage and whatnot. So we kind of need people to report when something happens, so that
Right.
if we're not there and we don't see it.
Okay. So when in the case of like EverQuest, what do players need to do when they're being harassed? Like you said, report
report,
and then to petition.
to petition. I mean, and sometimes it just helps just to ignore people who are being nasty. Don't feed the fire.
Yeah. This one was kind of cute. Is it a problem if they leave a ticket open just to say thank you?
Not at all.
It bumps our ticket counts. Yeah, we always appreciate seeing it, and those are easy answers, so we don't generally mind
Yeah.
seeing it.
This one was just a comment from Dan K, and it was on Facebook. He says, "You rock, CS. You helped me out of a jam and a few pickles. There's no preserve you can't manage."
That was probably me that helped him.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Dan K.
And then what's the one thing you guys think every customer should know? 'Cause that's the end.
We're here to help out. I mean, if they have a problem, definitely ask, because we can provide more information on the subject. you guys wanted to see. Yeah.
So that's the major one.
Thumbs
Yeah.
it up.
Yeah, we're here for the customers, make the games run smoothly. So that's what we're here for.
Anything we can do to help, we'll try our best. I think another thing is like a lot of people tend to go into a CS experience thinking, all right, I have to be angry and yell at them so they give me what I want. No, no. We much more appreciate it if you're going to be happy and friendly, and we'll try to help you out with that
Yeah.
anger happening.
Smiley faces help. Smiley faces.
Yeah.
Always smiling faces.
Extra parentheses.
The compliments can hurt.
Yeah. Anything else, guys?
You guys are awesome.
Well, thank you guys so much for tuning into our customer service webcast. We'll see you guys next Thursday for a yet to be announced topic. 4 o'clock.